Chapter 91. I might end up kissing you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't ever eat strawberries, Shengli annoyingly said, who had put his weight on his left elbow while his right leg was slightly bent and the left leg was straight. Ying Lili, who was seated beside Shengli, had an inquisitive expression. Why are you saying so? I love strawberries, Ying Lili opined. Shengli's lips moved up as a sly smile formed on them. He reached out his right hand towards Ying Lili, who knitted her brows. But before she could understand, Shengli pulled her by placing his hand on her nape. The two stared at each other for a while before Shengli broke the ice. I might end up kissing you if you eat them next time. Ying Lili blinked her eyes as a taint of red blush appeared on her cheeks. Shengli moved his thumb over Ying Lili's lips, which shivered a bit when she further heard Shengli, you seduced me twice today. If you do not want me to kiss you, then better not eat them ever again in front of me and do not try to act innocent. Ying Lili gulped, hearing his words. You are again blushing, Shengli whispered as he let go of his hand from Ying Lili's face. Ying Lili turned her back towards Shengli and touched her cheeks. Why are they red and why am I feeling hot? Ying Lili murmured. You said something. Ying Lili immediately shook her head to refuse. Shengli was amused by the reactions of the crown princess. He grabbed the crown princess's arm and in one swift movement, he again drew her towards him such that the crown princess landed on his chest. Her soft hands had touched the bare chest of the crown prince, who was grinning at her. You do not struggle now. The first day you were hating getting close to me and now it seems otherwise, Shengli questioned Ying Lili. Ying Lili pulled herself up when Shengli pushed her down using his arm, which was wrapped around her waist. Do you think I will let you go without getting answers? I am curious to know about something. Remember what you told me on the wedding night. Seeing Ying Lili's bewildered expressions, he smiled. You told me that you want me to die. Why? Because I am cruel and heartless. I am still finding a valid answer to this question. Why did you save me? I do not think it is because I am your husband. You never considered me your husband, so why did you save me? Wasn't that because only I could have saved you and your people? Shengli queried and waited for Ying Lili's response. Do I need a reason to save you? I know you do not trust people easily, but I was just worried when you were in that state. I told you that I had misunderstandings regarding you at the beginning, which cleared out gradually. You were there for me whenever I got into trouble. You took the blame for me and saved me. Only you can lead the Han Kingdom, and you have to wake up at that time. As I told you earlier, you are my husband, so I will be worried if anything happens to you, Ying Lili explained to Shengli. Shengli was impressed by Ying Lili's words. She thought only he could be the emperor of the Han in the future. Indeed, their relationship was getting finer with each passing day. The two had started to know and understand each other in a better way. Ying Lili was avoiding the dark icy gaze of Shengli, which bored through her, and at the same time, she was struggling to get away from him. The more she was pulling herself up, the more she was pulled back. So, you think I am the most suitable prince to be the next emperor? Shengli questioned her. Yes. Do you love me? Shengli's question baffled Ying Lili. No, she replied right away as she widened her eyes. Don't love me because I may not reciprocate your feelings, Shengli asserted. Ying Lili nodded and moved her eyes over the face of Shengli. So, there are still some chances that you may reciprocate my feelings, if I build a liking towards you, Ying Lili deduced. Both were staring into the eyes of each other while something strange was going on with them. A strange feeling inside their hearts, which they were not ready to accept. Will you leave me now? It is getting awkward, Ying Lili finally spoke. I have not held you. You are the one who is still clinging to my chest, Shengli replied with a smirk. Indeed, he was not holding her, which embarrassed Ying Lili. Her cheeks flushed red again. She immediately got up from him and turned her back to Shengli. Ying Lili again touched her cheeks from the back of her palm. Xiao will come here soon with dresses for us. We will go out from the secret route so no one will suspect us. Do not make any mistakes there. Since we will be there at midnight, most of the maids will be asleep. Xiao and I will wait for you at the back gate. Do not hesitate to kill if you find anyone suspicious. I will fulfill your one wish depending on the type of information you will bring from there, Xingli again explained to Ing Lily, but this time he offered a gift as well. A wish which he would fulfill. I will do my best, Ing Lily affirmed. Court Lady Su came inside and halted where the white curtains were hanging. Your Highness, General Xiao has sent this. Xingli came down from the bed and took the dresses from Court Lady Su. Do not let anyone know about this, Xingli whispered. Court Lady Su bowed her head and walked out from there. Ing Lily had come near him when Xingli handed her the dress, a white dot-colored Hanfu dress. The maids in the residence of the Prime Minister wear white only. Change into them. I will not look at you so you can change here. Just blow off the candles, Xingli told Ing Lily as he handed the dress to her. Hello dear readers. Sorry for this late update. I was sick since the morning so I could not upload the chapter. This chapter was written yesterday. I will not upload for 2.3 days because I am still feeling weak. Hope you will understand. Please keep voting on the story. This week's target is 1,000 votes, so let's reach there. I will do a mass release accordingly after achieving the target. Thank you. Happy reading. Chapter 92. I believe her. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After blowing the candles, Ing Lily went to the other end of the bed, which was at the center, and pulled the curtains down so that Xingli could not see her. She undid her dress and quickly wore the white Hanfu dress. Once she was done, she came toward Xingli. I am done. You shall change too, Ing Lily asserted. Xingli turned to look at Ing Lily and looked at her from head to toe. What shall I do with my face? Other maids will recognize me, Ing Lily worriedly said. First tie your hair to a bun. I will tell you then, Xingli stated. He went to the other side of the chamber and changed his clothes. Ing Lily went towards the dressing table and picked up the comb. She was combing her hair when she saw the reflection of Xingli in the mirror. Xingli was undressing when she turned her gaze away and closed her eyes. Xingli had worn black dot-colored robes, which were generally worn by spies. He tied a black headband around his forehead and came towards Ing Lily. You did not tie your hair, Xingli said when Ing Lily opened her eyes. She tilted her head to look at him and saw he was ready. I did. I was doing, Ing Lily replied as she put the comb down at the table. Tying her hair into a bun, she kept it on the place using a hairpin when Xingli stopped her. Do not use a silver hairpin, Xingli told Ing Lily. I gave you that commoner's hairpin the other day. Use that, he suggested. Ing Lily opened the drawer and took out the hairpin, which was made of metal. She used that and then turned to Xingli. The crown prince stepped closer to Ing Lily, who had a white silk fabric in his hand. He tied it around Ing Lily's face such that it covered her nose and mouth. Won't they suspect me more? Ing Lily asked Xingli as she pulled the fabric down. Xingli flicked at Ing Lily's forehead. Ouch, Ing Lily touched her forehead. Just tell them there is a giant mole near your lips which makes you look not so beautiful, or tell them that you have got many pimples there, Xingli told Ing Lily as he tied the silk fabric again around her face. Ing Lily was staring at him while he was saying all this when her gaze met his. Xingli immediately stepped back and looked away. Grab the dagger that I gifted you earlier and follow me, Xingli told Ing Lily. Ing Lily went to the table and picked the dagger from there. Let's go, Ing Lily told Xingli, who nodded, and the two walked out from there. Using the secret route, they soon met Xiao Zhan, who was waiting for them, and Wang Hao as well. Wang Hao formally greeted the crown princess and asked her how she was doing. Of course she is doing fine. The one who was not doing well was me, Xingli said in a bit of sarcasm. Wang Hao smiled slightly, seeing how the crown prince got annoyed. Leave it. You told me that you will be there, then what are you doing here? Xingli queried Wang Hao. Your Highness, I am here to inform you about something. I think the Prime Minister is cautious after the poisoning incident. He has increased the security in the residence, mainly at the entrance and even at the backyard of the residence. The soldiers appointed are specially trained, so we need to be extra careful, especially the Crown Princess, Wang Hao stated, and then looked at the Crown Princess. Let's not underestimate the Crown Princess, Xingli asserted and looked at Ying Lili. She saved me the other day, so, I believe her, he affirmed. I have done nothing like this before, but I will do my best, Ying Lili proclaimed. Wang Hao nodded. Your Highness, this is your sword, Wang Hao said. Xingli grabbed it and they started walking. Ying Lili found that today they were moving to a completely different path than the one they had taken for the forest the other day. Soon they were out of that tunnel. Ying Lili looked around and found that they were near some forest. Your Highness, this route is opened near the same forest, but this time we are not uphill but downhill. All the residences of the court ministers could be seen from here. This region has been restricted for everyone. Xiao Zhan cleared the confusion in Ying Lili's mind. Xingli walked ahead while the three of them followed him. After a few meters, they reached the dead end. Xingli extended his hand out. The biggest residence is of the Prime Minister and is isolated from the others. The entrance you can see from here, right? Xingli asked Ying Lili, who nodded. I will wait for you outside the chamber of the Prime Minister, Xingli told Ying Lili, who was startled. But you said that men are not allowed there, Ying Lili asserted. Indeed, men are not allowed there, but it does not mean that I cannot sneak there. Complete your work in 30 minutes, because after every 30 minutes an inspector comes there to check on the maidservants, and he is the most loyal person to the Prime Minister, Xingli answered to Ying Lili. Let's go then, Xingli stated and turned to go to the other side. Because no stairs were constructed on a sloppy hill, which they had to negotiate, Ying Lili found it difficult to descend it. Xingli noticed and told Ying Lili to grip his arm. Ying Lili did so, and in a few minutes, they overcame that slope. Why do you not construct some stairs there? Ying Lili asked Xingli. Because I do not want anyone to find out that we use this path, Xingli replied. I will not give you a helping hand next time. If you want to get close to me, then you have to learn all these things. That's the only way you can be the woman of my desires. Xingli proclaimed. Wang Hao and Xiao Zhan, who were following the Crown Prince and Crown Princess, were smiling upon hearing their conversation. General Wang, the Crown Prince has gotten close to the Crown Princess. The way Her Highness saved the Crown Prince has impressed him. Finally, the gentle side of the Crown Prince is coming out, Xiao Zhan whispered and smiled. Yes. But I wonder if the Crown Prince will let the Crown Princess know his heart, Wang Hao worriedly said as he looked at the Crown Prince, who was smiling while talking to the Crown Princess. Chapter 93. I am worried now. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xingli stopped as they were out of the forest. Wang Hao, where are the shoes which only maids wear? Xingli queried. General Wang had a cloth bag in his hand and took out the shoes. Putting them on the ground, in front of Ying Lili's feet, Wang Hao said, Your Highness, please wear them. Ying Lili removed her one shoe when she saw Xingli had bent on his knee. Place your hand on my shoulder, Xingli told Ying Lili, who stared at him. Don't stare at me, Xingli said, annoyed. Ying Lili quickly placed her hand on Xingli's shoulder. Xingli tilted his head when Wang Hao and Xiao Zhan both turned their backs towards them. Xingli moved up Ying Lili's skirt when Ying Lili scolded him. What are you doing? Xingli clasped Ying Lili's foot and put that inside the other shoe. Can't you stay quiet? Xingli snapped at her. Ying Lili turned quiet as Xingli made her wear the shoes. Don't be scared. I will do my work quickly and be around you, Xingli told Ying Lili as he stood up. Do something with your eyes, Xingli told Ying Lili. What do you mean? Ying Lili questioned. Your eyes differ from the other women. He might catch you. So, do not make eye contact with him. You are going there as a tea maker. Xiao Zhan has taken care of that maidservant who serves tea to Zhang Yong at midnight, so do not get worried. Make him drink the tea first and mix this powder in his tea, Sheng Li proclaimed as he handed a folded paper inside which white powder was put. He will be unconscious as soon as he drinks the tea, Sheng Li continued. Ying Lili gave him a nod. The crown prince turned to Wang Hao and asked him what side would be safe to go. Wang Hao and Xiao Zhan turned to face the crown prince. South, west side, your highness. Since it is closer to the forest, security isn't deployed there, Wang Hao replied. Sheng Li nodded and took out a black cotton fabric from inside his sleeves. He covered his face using that fabric. Wang Hao and Xiao Zhan did the same. With quiet steps, they walked to the south-west region of the residence. Once they reached there, Wang Hao stepped forward and negotiated the wall. Your Highness, everything is fine here, Wang Hao informed the crown prince from the other side. Sheng Li bent on his knees and told Ying Lili to get onto his back. Ying Lili at first hesitated, but when Sheng Li glared at her, she quickly climbed on his back. The crown princess climbed up the wall while from the other side Wang Hao helped her in getting down without getting injured. After her, Sheng Li and Xiao Zhan jumped across the wall. Sheng Li placed both of his hands on the shoulders of Ying Lili and said, "Nothing will happen. You can do this." Sheng Li gave a confident smile to Ying Lili who smiled back. General Wang came forward and told the crown princess to follow him. Ying Lili looked at Sheng Li and then turned away. She followed General Wang as Sheng Li watched her going away. I am worried now, Sheng Li murmured as Ying Lili left his sight. Your Highness, let's complete our work first, Xiao Zhan spoke. Sheng Li nodded, and the two turned to the other side. Wang Hao and Ying Lili reached the center of the residence, which was fully guarded by the soldiers. They were both hiding at the backside of the manor entrance. Your Highness, you have only 30 minutes so, make sure to do your work as quickly as possible. One maid, who works the midnight shift, will not be there today. You will replace her tonight. After 5 minutes, the maids will go inside so, mingle among them, Wang Hao explained to Ying Lili who was keenly listening to him. Do you have any idea what is inside there? Ying Lili asked. General Wang refused. No one knows. Whatever you will find, just bring it with you, cautiously. The other things Her Highness knows better, Wang Hao whispered. Ying Lili nodded and kept her gaze towards the stairs. After 5 minutes, chains of maids came there. 2 soldiers were checking the maids' identities. Wang Hao handed the fake identity, which was a tiny wooden stick, 3 centimeters in length and 4 centimeters in width. A name was engraved on it with a seal of the Prime Minister's residence. He gave it to Ying Lili and told her to go ahead. Ying Lili walked ahead and without coming to the notice of anyone there, stood last in the line. As her turn came, she was asked to show her ID. She did so when one soldier asked her to show her face. Forgive me, master. I cannot show you my ugly face. I have a few pimples near my mouth. The physician has told me to cover my face as it can spread to others as well. Ying Lili made up a story as Sheng Li had told her. Okay. You can go, the soldier replied as he handed her the ID card. Ying Lili bowed her head and followed the other maidservants. Once she ascended the stairs, she felt relieved. She walked inside the huge wooden door and kept following the maids when they were stopped. Where is Ah Lin? The chief eunuch asked as he looked around. Ying Lili stepped toward him and bowed her head. Master, I am here. Ying Lili bowed her head. Eunuch Kai got confused seeing Ah Lin. Why is your face covered? Remove that. And, what happened to your voice? Eunuch Kai questioned. Master, I got an allergy and near my lips pimples have appeared. The physician has told me to cover my face as the dirt can worsen it and also it can spread to others if I will make it visible. Forgive me master for getting sick, Ing Lily, in the best of her capabilities acted. It will not spread when you serve the tea to the Prime Minister, right? Eunuch Kai asked. No, it will not, master. Shall I serve the tea to my master then? Ing Lily queried softly. Eunuch Kai nodded and told her to follow him. As they stopped right in front of the sliding door of the chamber, Eunuch Kai said, "Milord is not in a good mood, so do not ruin it. Make the tea special so that Milord can get a night of good sleep," Eunuch Kai instructed her. Ing Lily nodded, and the eunuch opened the door for Ing Lily. She walked in and the doors were closed. She walked further with graceful steps and saw that the Prime Minister was seated around a table with his head tilted back on a wooden chair. Ing Lily bowed her head in front of him and looked at the table. The ingredients for the tea were already put there. She started making the tea. "Make the tea strong," Ing Lily heard him as he opened his eyes and looked at her. "What happened to your face?" Wei Zhongyong asked when Eunuch Kai who had just entered replied, "Milord, she has got pimples near her lips." Ing Lily was getting nervous, but she did not let it show on her face. "Milord, a message has come from the southern province. The situation is getting complex there," Eunuch Kai asserted as he put the scroll on the table. You may leave," Zhongyong told Eunuch Kai. Ing Lily was stirring the lukewarm water inside the porcelain kettle. Once she was done, she put a pinch of dried rose petals powder in the chrysanthemum tea. She glanced at the Prime Minister who was busy reading the scroll when she, without getting noticed, put the powder inside the tea which Xingli had given her. "My lord, your tea is ready," Ing Lily softly said, changing her voice a bit as she forwarded the porcelain cup towards the Prime Minister. Zhongyong had knitted his brows as he was reading the scroll. Without looking at Ing Lily, he grabbed the teacup and started sipping it. Ing Lily stepped behind with a lowered head and waited for him to get unconscious. The Prime Minister lifted his eyes as his vision blurred. He found that he could not speak, and he fell unconscious. His head banged against the table and the teacup almost fell on the floor, but Ing Lily caught it. Putting the cup on the table, the Crown Princess glanced around and checked for the secret chamber there. She put away the curtains which were hanging to the left of the bed and walked ahead. She found that the Prime Minister had constructed a mini library, but there was no secret room she could find till now. Checking every corner of the chamber, the Crown Princess got worried because now she had less than 15 minutes to find the secret room and the secret hidden inside that room. Hello dear readers. Sorry for this late update. I was sick since the morning so I could not upload the chapter. This chapter was written yesterday. I will not upload for 2.3 days because I am still feeling weak. Hope you will understand. Thank you. Happy reading. Chapter 94. To catch Xingli you are listening at novelfull.audio. Ing Lily again went to the mini library and checked if any secret door was there. She checked behind the shelves while touching the wall and tapping on it. As she reached the end shelf, she touched the wall there as well and tapped on it. She heard a sound as if the wall had space behind it. But the construction of the wall was so refined that she could find nothing suspicious in that. She scrutinized the end wall, but nothing was there. The Crown Princess looked inside the shelves to find if there could be any secret door lock made. She kept checking inside the shelves when she found a lever, which was hidden at the bottommost shelf behind some old books, and moved it down. The shelf moved back, which astonished Ing Lily. So, the wall had no secret door, but this bookshelf is itself a secret door to the other room, Ing Lily muttered. She quickly went in and the thing that she saw not only shocked her but also, at the same time baffled her. There was nothing inside the secret room except a wooden cupboard. She checked inside the cupboard, but there was nothing except a few scrolls. Did he put bait to catch Xingli? Ing Lily wondered as she closed the cupboard. Ing Lily turned to leave when she found something strange on the wall attached to the wall cupboard. She quickly touched it and kept moving her hand over it when she found a round depression on the wall. The depression was so minute that it was difficult to detect it unless one keenly observed it. She pushed it in and heard the lever and pulley system sound. The wall had a door that opened up. "How many doors has he made?" Ing Lily complained and walked in. Her eyes gleamed seeing the gold there and many other precious valuables as well. The true treasure of the Prime Minister. But Ing Lily's main aim was not to look at the gold and other precious valuables but something that could be used against the Prime Minister. She checked the wooden cupboards, which were a total of 10 there. 2 cupboards had some maps of the residence and the neighboring kingdom which Han had occupied to this date. The Crown Princess then checked the other cupboards and found a ledger book in which it was shown how the taxes were manipulated for those cities which were far from Han. Will it be okay to take this ledger? Ing Lily thought. She checked the other cupboards as well when she found something which astounded her. A diary she found, which was about Xing Li's mother. Ing Lily realized that day in the study room, she had seen a diary in Xing Li's hands which was also of Xing Li's mother. But then, what was this? And what was this doing there? She quickly flipped the pages and saw how Xing Li's mother had written every single moment with Xing Li, since the day of his birth. Ing Lily realized she did not have enough time, so she quickly put the account ledger book and Xing Li's mother's diary inside her upper jacket. Tying the knot on her upper jacket, she ran outside the room, closed it, and then came out from there. She pulled the lever up behind the cupboard, and it closed the wall behind it. Ing Lily took a breath of relief and went to the door when she found Eunuch Kai had a bewildered expression on his face. "What did you mix inside the master's tea?" Eunuch Kai questioned Ing Lily and marched towards her to remove the white silk fabric that was covering her face. He extended his hand when Ing Lily caught it. Before Eunuch Kai could call for help, Ing Lily swirled him and placed her palm on his mouth, thus preventing him from speaking. "I can't let him live, but if I will kill him, then suspicion will be on Xing Li," Ing Lily thought, and hit Eunuch Kai's head, who lost consciousness. Ing Lily put him aside, hid the dagger inside her waistband, and then walked out from there. Before leaving, she made sure that she left nothing as evidence against her. As she came out, she saw Inspector Hong coming from the front. She lowered her head and left the manor before she would be doubted by him. Ing Lily walked past him when he stopped her. "Who are you? And, why is your face covered?" Inspector Hong demanded the answers. He was wearing a maroon-colored Hanfu dress with black stripes on the sleeves and a black hat with a long white feather hanging on it at the top, and on the edges, beaded threads were hanging. "Master, I am Lin. I serve tea to the respected Prime Minister. Last night I got an allergy and pimples near my mouth, so the physician recommended covering my face as it can spread to others as well. If the master wants to see, then I can. Leave it. Go home. Why did you even come here?" Inspector Hong asked, annoyingly. Ing Lily apologized for troubling him. The inspector told her to go away from his sight. Ing Lily gave a 90-degree bow and left from there as fast as she could. Inspector Hong, on the other hand, checked the identities of the maids there. He did not find Eunuch Kai there and asked about him from the maid. "Master is inside with the Lord," the maid replied, lowering her eyes. Inspector Hong opened the door and walked in. He had a scroll in his hand when he was bewildered to see Eunuch Kai lying unconscious on the floor. He panicked to see the Prime Minister, who was lying unconscious with his head resting on the table, and ran to him. Inspector Hong checked if the Prime Minister was breathing, and was relieved to see that he was fine. The inspector came running out of the room and looked for Ing Lily, but she was not there. He swiftly came out of the manor and saw Ing Lily was at the last stair. "Catch that maid," Inspector Hong shouted from the top of the stairs. He was descending the stairs as fast as he could. Ing Lily looked at the soldiers who marched towards her. Ing Lily swiftly took the dagger out and fought with them. She kicked the soldier who was left to her, dodged the attack of the soldier to her right and slit his throat. The soldiers from the other side came running to her. Ing Lily ran from there, crossing from beneath the stairs, but could not go to the path which Wang Hao had told her, as she didn't want the soldiers who were chasing her to catch Wang Hao if he was waiting for her on the same route. Instead, she turned to the right from the central region of the residence. She had the map in her mind, so it was not difficult for her to get on the same path later. She slowed her steps as she saw some 10 soldiers going to the eastern gate. As she walked past them, she increased her step when she heard a soldier, "Catch that maid. She is a spy." Ing Lily started running as fast as she could, because if she would be caught then Xingli would come in danger as well. She should have hidden eunuch Kai in the mini library, she realized, and cursed herself internally for making such a mistake. Inspector Hong had come there with a bow in his hand. He was 100 meters away from Ing Lily. Taking the arrow from the soldier standing beside him, he put it on the string and then pulled it. Ing Lily was going to turn to the left of the central library of the residence when Inspector Hong released the arrow from the string towards Ing Lily. Contrarily, Xingli, Wang Hao, and Xiao Zhan were waiting for Ing Lily. "Did you tell her to come from this route only?" Xingli questioned Wang Hao, who gave a nod. Xingli was anxious because Ing Lily was taking more time than she should have taken. Hello dear readers, I am feeling good now. Thank you for the votes which you all give despite I could not give the chapter. Happy reading. Chapter 95. You ended up in such a mess. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ing Lily turned to see and saw the fast-moving arrow that was going to hit her, but, at the right time, she was pulled towards her left. Inspector Hong was mad seeing this, and he told the specially trained soldiers to surround the region. "There is one more with her. Catch them at any cost," Inspector Hong shouted, and started running to the path on which Ing Lily had run earlier. "Xingli," Ing Lily murmured, who gestured to her to be quiet. He tightly held her hand and took her from there. Xingli had come many times to the Prime Minister's residence, so he knew the routes well. Xingli and Ing Lily reached the southern pavilion. Xingli stepped ahead, holding Ing Lily's hand, when a soldier in blue robes appeared in front of them with a sword in his hand. Xingli too took out the sword swiftly and in a flash of a second, slit that soldier's neck. "Come," Xingli told Ing Lily as she ran to him. They were close to the south-western side of the residence when Xingli heard the sound of footsteps. He looked around and found a store room there. Hiding would be better than going ahead, Xingli decided, and took Ing Lily to the storage room. Xingli had already sent Xiao Zhan and Wang Hao out of the residence, so he was not worried about them getting caught. "Follow me," Xingli in a low voice said as he slid into the tiny space along Ing Lily, which was at the end of the room. There were some wooden planks on one side of the wall. Ing Lily was panting and beads of sweat formed on her forehead. They could hear the voices of the soldiers. Ing Lily was slightly terrified because if they got caught then it would be an end for them. Xingli noticed how tense Ing Lily was, so he gripped her right hand. Ing Lily turned her gaze at him. "I am here, so do not be scared," Xingli whispered. Those words gave security to Ing Lily, and now she was relaxed. Suddenly the wooden planks fell towards Ing Lily when Xingli came in front of her, his face facing Ing Lily. The planks hit his back and the left arm that he had extended out at that time, as he could not let them fall. Meanwhile, the fabric, which was tied around his face, fell while he towered over Ing Lily. Ing Lily thought to help him, but then she heard him say, "Do not move." Ing Lily lifted her eyes and met the stony gaze of Xingli. Both had stopped blinking as their gazes turned to an intense eye lock. Their eye lock broke when Xingli winced in pain as the wedge on the plank pierced inside Xingli's arm. He puckered his lips, not to let himself groan from pain. Ing Lily was worried, but then she heard soldiers retreating from there. "Someone suspicious is found at the northern gate," they both heard. After a while, Xingli turned left and pushed the plank back and took out the wedge from his arm. "Your arm is bleeding," Ing Lily anxiously said. "It is fine. Let's get out of here," Xingli stated. Ing Lily tore her skirt from the bottom and quickly wrapped it around that injured arm. If blood drops will pour down then they might check this area later, so better be cautious, Ing Lily asserted as she tied the knot around Xing Li's arm. Xing Li picked the fabric from the floor, hid it inside the waistband and went out from there with Ing Lily. They negotiated the same wall from where they had come, and after walking for a few meters they both met Xiao Zhan and Wang Hao. "Your Highness, our spy distracted the security there," Wang Hao informed Xing Li, who hummed. Ing Lily opened the fabric tied around her face and looked at Xing Li. "Forgive me. You took so much pain because of me." Ing Lily lowered her eyes. "It is fine. What did you find there?" Xing Li asked Ing Lily. "I took a ledger account book from there. It has mentioned every fraud that the Prime Minister is doing in the regions that are far from Han. Basically, he has created his own system of getting taxes from them, but to the Revenue Department it appears something else. The rebellions in the southern province might be linked with this," Ing Lily explained to Xing Li. "It is enough to remove him from his position." "Anything else?" Xing Li asked. Ing Lily refused and did not tell him about his mother's diary. "So, where is the ledger book?" Xing Li forwarded his hand. I have put it inside my upper jacket," Ing Lily replied. Xing Li pulled his hand back and told them that they should leave for the palace. As they started walking, Ing Lily told Xing Li about the treasure that she saw inside the secret chamber. "What kind of treasure does he have?" Xing Li asked. "The secret room is full of gold and many other precious valuables. But, Xing Li, if you show the ledger then the Prime Minister will find out that we sneaked in there and I even attracted their attention, so he might use it against us. Don't you think so?" Ing Lily asked him. Wang Hao and Xiao Zhan agreed with the Crown Princess. "You do not need to know. Your work is to bring the evidence here which you did. The rest, I will take care of," Xing Li pronounced. The cold wind was blowing which made Ing Lily shiver. Xing Li found Ing Lily was putting more pressure on her left foot while dragging the right one. "What happened to your foot?" Xing Li asked Ing Lily as he halted at his place. Xiao Zhan and Wang Hao too stopped. "I injured my foot when I was running from there," Ing Lily replied. Xing Li bent on his knees and brought his hand closer to Ing Lily's right foot when she moved it back. "It is fine. You do not need to check," Ing Lily softly said, but Xing Li did not stop and grasped her foot gently. Removing the shoe and the white sock from her foot, he found the foot was swollen and he even saw a red blood mark on the skirt near the knee. Xing Li lifted his eyes to look at Ing Lily. "Did you fall down while running?" Xing Li asked her. "Yes," Ing Lily replied. Xing Li put the sock back on Ing Lily's foot. As soon as he stood up, he carried Ing Lily in his arms, which startled her. Xiao Zhan picked the shoe up and they all started walking. "I can walk," Ing Lily said in a low voice. Her hands were wrapped around Xing Li's neck. "We have to reach the palace soon," Xing Li replied. Ing Lily found that Xing Li was disturbed, but she did not ask him. She noticed that they did not climb on the slope. With skepticism Ing Lily asked him the reason for not using the sloppy path. "You are heavy so I cannot climb on the slope carrying you," Xing Li snapped at her. Xiao Zhan and Wang Hao suppressed their smiles as they looked at each other. "It means you know that there was another path as well, but you." Ing Lily stopped speaking as Xing Li gave her a menacing look. Soon enough they reached near the tunnel and walked in. After a while, Xing Li turned to the route which was attached to Ing Lily's chamber while General Xiao and General Wang took a different path. They soon reached the chamber and Xing Li put Ing Lily on the bed. To check the wound on Ing Lily's left knee, Xing Li moved the skirt up when Ing Lily shouted at him and pushed it down. "Let me see." "There is nothing special about your knee," Xing Li stated as he moved the skirt up again. "This is your first time working with me and you ended up in such a mess." He touched the wound which was still bleeding. "I think I made a mistake by asking for such a wish," Xing Li deduced as he met her eyes. Chapter 96. Run and hide like crazy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ing Lily made a pout upon hearing the words of Xingli, "You should praise me." "It was my first time," Ing Lily complained as she crossed her arms. "You injured yourself. The crown princess is injured, which is not acceptable." "I meant that. Now, if anyone asks tomorrow what happened to your foot, then just tell her that you slipped in the bathhouse," asserted Xingli. "Zhang Yong will be mad if seeing the mess you created in his residence." Xingli chuckled and smiled. "He will check the secret room and will be infuriated if he found out that the ledger book is missing," Ing Lily proclaimed. Xingli turned his back to Ing Lily and asked her to give him the ledger account book. Ing Lily opened the knot of the jacket and cautiously took out the ledger book. She did not take the diary out and quickly tied the knot. "Here," Ing Lily said and forwarded the book to Xingli. Xingli turned to Ing Lily and took the ledger book from her. The crown prince flipped through the pages and saw how the prime minister had manipulated the taxes. A sly smile formed on Xingli's lips. He closed the book and placed it on the table there. "Tell me, what do you want?" Xingli asked Ing Lily. Since no candle was lit, Ing Lily could only see his eyes looking at her. "Tell me your wish and I will fulfill that," Xingli pronounced. "Will you be able to fulfill my wish?" Ing Lily questioned, raising a brow. "I believe I have enough power to fulfill your wish," Xingli stated and removed the headband. Ing Lily, after staring at him for a while, said, "I will ask later. Since you are going to fulfill a wish of mine, then I must put a good thought on my wish." Xingli nodded and stood up from the bed. He opened the waistband and put it on the side table. Turning to Ing Lily he said, "I will be back." Ing Lily saw Xingli had walked out of the chamber. She was tired after completing the mission, so laid down on the bed. Soon she drifted to sleep. When Xingli came back with a bowl of water and cotton napkin in his hand, he found that Ing Lily was already asleep. He put the bowl and the napkin on the table there and lit the candle. Bringing the candle to Ing Lily's foot, he checked her foot. "It is badly swollen," he murmured and brought the candle closer to the knee to check the wound. He put the candle stand on the bedside table and brought the bowl along with the napkin there. He cleaned the wound from the napkin when Ing Lily's sleep broke. She looked at him and immediately sat up, covering her leg. Xingli amusingly looked at her. "What do you think you are doing? You think I will do something to you?" Xingli questioned her with annoyance. "No, I did not think that. I will do it myself," Ing Lily stated when Xingli pulled her leg and stretched it out. "Why are you getting shy?" "It isn't like seeing your knee will get me excited," Xingli remarked and lifted her skirt up again. "If it is not treated then it can get an infection. You have fought in battles, so how could you be careless?" Ing Lily found a gentle side of Xingli towards her. She did not stop him while her eyes fell on Xingli's left arm. "You are also injured. We shall treat it as well," Ing Lily whispered. "I will do it after I am done with you," Xingli stated. "Don't move too much for a day. Your foot is not in a good condition." Xingli leaned back and pulled down the skirt. "Did you understand?" he then asked. Ing Lily nodded. "There are some cotton napkins in that cupboard. You can bring one for yourself. I will dress your wound as well." Ing Lily offered her help. "No need. I will clean it myself." Xingli stood up from the bed and went to the cupboard. Taking out a napkin, he picked the water bowl and took it towards the chaise. He stood such that his back faced Ing Lily. Removing the upper jacket, Xingli dipped the napkin into the water bowl, squeezed it, and started cleaning the blood on his arm. Ing Lily's eyes were fixated on Xingli's back. She saw the scars he had on his back and drew her brows together. "Don't stare at me," Xingli in a hoarse voice said as he tilted his head slightly to glance at Ing Lily, who right away lowered her eyes. "Who is staring at you? It isn't like your body is that good," Xingli heard Ing Lily's mumbles when he turned to look at her. He removed the upper robe, put the napkin over the bowl, and went to the bed. He sat beside Ing Lily who was avoiding his gaze. "You did not like my body. Xingli asked her, as he noticed Ying Lili was moving to the other side. What are you showing off? Just cover it, Ying Lili snapped at him when Xingli gripped Ying Lili's arm, pinning her down on the bed. She crossed her arms over her chest. I am sleepy. Get away from me, Ying Lili said, but Xingli was not ready to leave her. I saw how you were drooling seeing me like this, Xingli teased her while his index finger traced the contours of Ying Lili's face. Ha! Drooling over you. Don't dream. There is nothing to be drooling about, Ying Lili responded as she poked her index finger on Xingli's chest to push him away. Get away and stop doing that, Ying Lili said as her eyes fluttered. Stop doing what? Xingli asked as he stopped his pointer finger under Ying Lili's chin. I had never thought that I would have to run and hide like crazy to save you. You did this to me twice. Once when you took me to the market and second when I sent you for a mission. What did you do there? Would you like to tell me so that I can cover up your mistakes tomorrow? Xingli demanded the answer. Hello dear readers, since this week I cannot achieve the 1000 votes target, so there will be no mass release. Hope we will achieve this target in this week. Thank you. Happy reading. Chapter 97. Find love in a festival. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why do you not lean back rather than hovering over me? That would be more comfortable than this, Ying Lili suggested as she applied pressure on her pointer finger to push him away. Xingli grasped her finger and said, this is the most comfortable position for me. Ying Lili knew he would not listen to her, so she should better tell him everything. Eunuch Kai caught me, but before he could see my face, I hit him on the head. The inspector would not have chased me if I had hidden Eunuch Kai. That was my mistake. When I ran from there, I thought not to take the route which General Wang had told me about, as they would have searched up the southwestern side of the residence, so I took a different route. Then, you came, and, she stopped as Xingli was boring his gaze on her. Speak, I am listening, Xingli commanded. And rescued me, Ying Lili completed her words. Now, I have told you, then you should get away from me, she stressed, knitting her brows. Xingli did so and blew off the candle, which was placed on the table. You shall change your clothes, else in the morning it will be a problem, Xingli suggested to Ying Lili, who sat on the bed. Xingli brought her clothes, which she had placed earlier on the chaise. Pulling the curtains down, he told Ying Lili to change, who quickly changed her clothes. I am done, Ying Lili replied. Xingli sat on the bed and asked for the dress. Ying Lili handed him, which he put back on the chaise there. How is he able to see things in the dark? Ying Lili wondered. Xingli laid on the bed beside Ying Lili, who moved away when Xingli pulled her closer. The darkness was making it difficult to see what Xingli was up to, making her nervous. She felt Xingli's breath hitting her lips, which worried her. Why don't you told me that you wouldn't do anything? Please stay away, Ying Lili found she was stuttering, which was truly showing how nervous she was. When did I do anything to you? When a woman lies beside her man, a man cannot control himself, but I do not come into that category. Scaring you is fun for me, Xingli whispered against her lips and then leaned back. He had pulled the blanket up and covered them with it while Ying Lili swiftly moved as far as she could on the bed. Do you want to fall from the bed? Xingli asked Ying Lili. What? How can he see me? Ying Lili wondered and tilted her head to look but could not clearly see where Xingli was. She turned her head back and clutched the sheets tightly. I am fine here, Ying Lili replied in a low voice. What if you fall off the bed while you are asleep? I am not a beast from whom you are running away. Ying Lili's behavior had irked Xingli. You are getting the wrong idea. It is comfortable here. May I ask how you found me? Ying Lili questioned. I am not sleepy, so let's talk for a while, she continued. But I am not in the mood to talk. I am sleepy, Xingli replied and moved closer to Ying Lili. There was still a safe distance between the two. His face was towards Ing Lily's back because he could not sleep to his left side. His bare arm was outside the blanket, and he soon fell asleep. Even Ing Lily dozed off to sleep after some time. In the morning, Xingli felt someone's soft hand on his bare arm. He gradually opened his eyes and saw Ing Lily's face. But he closed them again as he thought he was seeing a dream. Wait. Why would he dream about her? Right away, he opened his eyes and found that Ing Lily had come closer to him in his sleep. Not only that, her hand rested on Xingli's arm. If she sees us like this, then she will blame me only, Xingli mumbled and put away Ing Lily's hand from his arm. He sat up on the bed and got down. He changed into the royal robes first and called the court lady inside. Court Lady Su stood near the door, which had a curtain hanging from it. Clean the mess here and do not let anyone know about last night. I will not forgive you if any rumor comes out, Xingli commanded her. Yes, Your Highness, Court Lady Su bowed her head when Xingli towards the door, covered with the curtain. The crown princess's foot is injured, so do not let her roam in the palace. Call the royal physician, and if someone asks, just tell them that she fell in the bathhouse, Xingli explained to the court lady, who stepped back, head still lowered, and walked out from there. Xingli came back to the bed and removed the blanket from Ing Lily. He then patted her cheek, thus waking her up. What? Why are you disturbing me? Ing Lily, with half-closed eyes, asked. Get your foot checked by the royal physician. He will be here in a while. Do not speak anything and let me handle everything, Xingli told Ing Lily. You are scolding me in the early morning. Is this the way you treat a person who has given you a piece of top-notch information? Ing Lily yanked at Xingli, who sat on the stool beside the bed. She sat up on the bed and realized something. I was at the left edge of the bed. How come I came to the right? Ing Lily muttered and turned to look at Xingli, who was carrying a neutral expression on his face. You did something, right? Ing Lily asked, looking at Xingli, who chuckled. Why are you so judgmental about me? Xingli questioned. Because of the way you sometimes converse with me, Ing Lily replied. I do not do things at the back. If I have to do something with you, then I would prefer to do. Xingli stopped in the middle and averted his gaze from her. Ing Lily did the same, and the two waited for the royal physician to come there. A maid came inside who was sent by court lady to take away the clothes and clean the chamber before royal physician's arrival. She bowed her head and did her work quickly. Do not let anyone notice them. Take them to General Wang, Xingli instructed the maid, who nodded and left the chamber. The royal physician arrived there and came running inside. He greeted the crown prince and the crown princess. The crown princess has injured herself in the bathhouse. Her left foot is swollen, and the knee is also injured, Xingli told the physician. Your Highness, may I check you? The royal physician politely asked, lowering his eyes. Yes, you may, Ing Lily permitted him. Royal physician touched the foot and said, Your Highness, a lukewarm water massage will reduce the swelling. Do not walk unnecessarily as it can increase it. Ing Lily nodded when the royal physician told court lady Su to lift the skirt of the crown princess. She came forward and did so. The blood is clotted, so there is nothing to worry about. The wound shall not leave any scar on the body of the royal highness, so, for that I will send herbal medicine in my assistant's hands, the royal physician told the crown princess. Court lady Su pulled the skirt down gently and sent off the royal physician. As the royal physician and court lady Su went out, Xingli turned his gaze to Ing Lily. Don't jump here and there like a rabbit. If I see you defying my orders, then I will not fulfill your wish, Xingli threatened Ing Lily. I will not. But what about the Lantern Festival? I was so excited about that. I thought we would go to the market to enjoy it, Ing Lily murmured. Is that your wish? Xingli asked. No. I am saying in general. Every year I used to go out with my friend to the Lantern Festival in the market. But this year it is different, Ing Lily took a deep sigh. You used to go with Hu Jinghua? Shengli questioned. Ing Lily refused. Rui, my assistant. I miss her every day, Ing Lily said in a low voice. It is said that during the Lantern Festival, you can find your love. Rui and I used to go out in those market streets of Juyen during the Lantern Festival. Those were some memorable days, Ing Lily pronounced and lowered her eyes. So, did you find your love? Shengli questioned. Ing Lily lifted her eyes and peered at Shengli. It is in legends. I do not know. I just said what people say, Ing Lily cleared herself out. Why are you stuttering? Don't tell me you indeed found a lover in that Lantern Festival. Are you missing him? Shengli started teasing her. Ing Lily got angry. Go away, she said in a fit of rage. You never celebrated such festivals, so you cannot understand. Just go away from my sight. Shengli's statements irked Ing Lily. How could I celebrate when I was in the wars for 6 years? But now I am interested in celebrating this. I would love to see how people find love in a festival, Shengli expressed his desire. He stood up from the stool and left from there. Ing Lily saw him walking away. Did I go too far in my words? She murmured as Shengli left her sight. Chapter 98. After marriage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Han Nianzu was playing the flute when he heard footsteps. He stopped and turned to look. Lei Wanshi, you here? Nianzu asked and put his hands down. Lei Wanshi came closer to Nianzu and sat on the broad wooden railing of the pavilion beside Nianzu. Wu Qinyang is on our side. She came here to harm the crown prince, but then stopped herself from doing so. I have sent her to Juyen to find out about the family of the crown princess, Lei Wanshi asserted. Is she trustworthy? The crown prince killed her brothers so she might betray us later, Nianzu affirmed. She will not betray us. I spared her because the crown prince is making more enemies than friends. Moreover, she realized that taking revenge is not the solution. I had a nice conversation with her, Lei Wanshi asserted. Nianzu nodded and looked at his flute. The empress is behind all this, and removing her is not going to be easy. The crown prince might lose people while fighting with her, Nianzu proclaimed. Why are you saying so, dear fourth brother? Lei Wanshi worriedly asked. Nianzu lifted his eyes to look at Lei Wanshi. Don't you know that power and status are everything for the empress? She did not even spare the mother of the crown prince for her power, and the mysterious death of the former advisor of His Majesty is no joke. If she sees someone as a threat to her power, then that person will not live. Palace life is sickening, Nianzu proclaimed. I wish my mother would not be a concubine, Nianzu stated. Lei Wanshi noticed that Nianzu was disturbed because of some reason. What happened, brother? You seem disturbed. Is everything all right? Lei Wanshi politely asked. He knew that Prince Nianzu had the lowest status among all the princes because he was the son of a concubine, but the emperor never treated him unequally. The empress punished my mother as she spent some time with the emperor, Nianzu told Lei Wanshi. I have enough power to take my mother away from this palace, but I am afraid that she will never leave with me, Nianzu was outraged. Brother, the palace is beautiful too. Mother Qian will not go because it is where her world belongs. Indeed, there are weeds in the palace, but now Brother Sheng has returned, then everything will turn right. Do not feel low, Lei Wanshi consoled Nianzu. Wanshi, this palace was never beautiful to me, nor will it be in the future. I do not desire power, status, and money. I want a commoner life where I can enjoy things without any restrictions. Bloodshed is there for the throne, and I hate that. When I go to the market, I see the joy on the faces of the people, and then I look at myself, Nianzu stated and took a deep sigh. He averted his gaze from Lei Wanshi as he looked at the clear sky. Your Highness, are you doing good? Wang Hao worriedly asked, looking at the left arm of Shengli. I am good. It was just a minor injury, replied Xingli. Have you started the preparation for our journey to the southern province? Xingli questioned him. The two were coming out of the ammunition house. Yes, Your Highness. We will take the short route while going to the southern province as it will be safer, but the journey will not be comfortable as the route is mostly through hilly terrain, Wang Hao informed the crown prince. Something clicked Xingli's mind, so he asked, Wang Hao, why is the Lantern Festival popular? I used to think that it is celebrated to advocate Buddhism. Is there any other meaning for that festival? Your Highness, it is celebrated to advocate Buddhism. That's why it is popular. Why is His Highness asking? Is there any other reason to celebrate this festival? Wang Hao queried the crown prince. Lily said that people celebrate it to find love, Xingli replied to Wang Hao, who was startled to hear that. Is it so? Your Highness, maybe it is popular among the commoners. Shall I look into that? Wang Hao looked for an answer. Xingli halted at his place and tilted his head to look at Wang Hao. I think she was playing with me. How can someone find love in a mere festival? Xingli complained. Xiao Zhan, who happened to come there, heard their conversation. Your Highness, it is a belief popular among the people. It symbolizes reunion or a new person entering your life. So, people associate with love which one can find at this festival, Xiao Zhan pronounced. Both Xingli and Wang Hao looked at him amusingly. How come do you know about this? Xingli queried him. Did you find your love too in the Lantern Festival? But how could you when you were with me for 6 years? Xingli astonishingly questioned Xiao Zhan. Your Highness, I did not find anyone. During our campaigns, I heard it from a local group of people. But I am wondering why is His Highness searching for this? Xiao Zhan confusedly asked. Her Highness told the Crown Prince, replied Wang Hao. Xiao, does it mean that the Crown Princess also wants to find love? But how can she when she is already married? Wang Hao asked Xiao Zhan. What do you want to say? Why would she search for love after marriage? You two ruined my mood. Such a baseless rumor people have spread. Xingli muttered and walked away from there. Wang Hao, why did you say that? Can't you use common sense? Xiao Zhan scolded Wang Hao. I am not getting you, Xiao, Wang Hao asserted. Wang Hao, the Crown Princess wants to celebrate the festival with the Crown Prince. Maybe she wants to say that she wants to find the love with the Crown Prince, Xiao Zhan explained to Wang Hao. It means that the Crown Princess wants the Crown Prince to take her out on that day. I pray that they too find love for each other at this festival, Wang Hao stated, passing a tiny smile to Xiao Zhan. Hello dear readers, since this week the 1000 votes target could not be achieved, so there will be no mass release. Hope in this coming week, the target is achieved. So, keep voting on the story. Thank you. Happy reading. Chapter 99. Loved by everyone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Carefully, Your Highness. Do not put pressure on your right foot, Court Lady Su stated as she helped the Crown Princess to get seated on the chaise. Lily was wearing a white dot-colored Hanfu dress with red stripes on it. Court Lady Su, I would like to be alone for some time, Lily expressed in her wish. Yes, Your Highness, Court Lady Su bowed her head and walked out from the chamber, closing the doors behind. Lily quickly stood up from the chaise. Putting the pressure on her left foot, she went towards the bed and took out the diary from under the mattress. Lily sat on the bed, stretching her right leg out, and looked at the diary. Sorry, Mother, but I think I shall read it first before handing it to Xingli. Why was this doing there? That's the biggest mystery for me, Lily muttered. She opened it and saw a beautiful piece of paper art that was made on the front page. It was a picture of a woman with her baby in her hands. It must have been painted by Mother when Xingli was going to be born, Lily murmured. A smile carved on Lily's rosy lips, and she flipped the pages again. Is it good to read about Xing Li's mother? She had not read anything till now and was only flipping pages. She stopped at the last page when she saw the writing had become irregular, as if the former empress was finding the difficulty while writing. I do not have much time left. I hope you will be loved by everyone around you. I know like your name you will win everyone's heart around you. Everyone will cherish you, my son. I wish I could be with you and see you growing up. Tears were formed in Ying Lily's eyes as she read those lines. She found there were red blood marks too in the paper, but they had faded out with time. She must have coughed the blood. Ying Lily continued reading. I just want you to see everyone with love and be the ruler of the people. I want you to treat your subjects as your own children. That's what a true ruler is. I want an empire where everyone loves my son, respects him, and willingly sacrifices for him. I think I cannot write anymore. I rest my words here. Ying Lily could not control the tears in her eyes and they rolled down her cheeks. Mother wanted everyone to love Xing Li, but it is the opposite, Ying Lily mumbled and closed the diary. It is the personal diary of Xing Li's mother which I must hand to Xing Li. Only he may read it, she continued. Wiping the tears off her cheeks, she put the diary on the table beside the bed. I do not know why I am feeling bad when I should not. It must be tough for him, growing up without his mother's love and then bullied by his elder brothers. Even I did wrong with him, he never said anything to me. I will apologize to him, Ying Lily thought in her mind and again wiped her face. The crown princess called for court Lady Su who came inside. Bowing her head, she asked the crown princess about the sudden call. Please sit here, Ying Lily told Lady Su and gestured to her to sit on the bed. Your Highness, a lowly person like me is not allowed to sit in the same place as Her Highness, court Lady Su replied politely. You are the age of my mother. How can you think of yourself as lowly? Please sit beside me, Ying Lily stressed her words. Court Lady Su could not refuse Ying Lily and sit on the bed. Court Lady Su, something has been bothering me for a long time. You have been with the crown prince since the time of his birth. Court Lady Su keenly looked at the crown princess. Would you please tell me about the childhood of the crown prince? Ying Lily completed her words and looked at court Lady Su. Xing Li was leaving the courtroom when he encountered the prime minister. Wei Zhongyong bowed his head in front of the crown prince. Why does it feel like that something is going on with the prime minister? Xing Li taunted Zhongyong. Zhongyong drew his brows together. He was disturbed by last night's incident but he could not tell anyone about that except the empress. Nothing is going on with me, Your Highness. Thank you for asking, Zhongyong affirmed. Xing Li smiled and walked away from there. Zhongyong lifted his head. Apart from you, no one can break the security of my residence. I have to find the ledger before you could use it against me, Your Highness, Zhongyong thought and went to Empress Manor. A huge red translucent curtain was hanging in the middle of the chamber. On one side, the Empress could be seen seated on a chaise while on the other side, the Prime Minister could be seen on his knees. Both of her hands rested on the arms while she was glaring at the Prime Minister. So, a woman gave you tea, and you got unconscious. Not only that, she took away the ledger with her. How dare you let your guard down? Empress Wen Wei bellowed at the Prime Minister. Your Majesty, please forgive me. I did not expect this coming, Zhongyong apologized, bowing his head. Do not even ask for forgiveness. First, you let the crown princess live and now you let them take the ledger. Xing Li will not spare you. After this poisoning incident, he has turned into a hungry lion. That's why I told you not to let him live, Wen Wei pronounced and clenched her fists tightly. Is there anything else missing from your secret chamber? Wen Wei queried Zhongyong, who refused. Do not do anything. Let me think about what I can do. You may leave, Wen Wei asserted. Zhongyong stood up, bowed once again, and then left from there. Tell the crown princess that the empress is visiting her, Wen Wei ordered her personal assistant, who passed the message through a maidservant to the crown princess. Chapter 100. Love and cherish her. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xingli reached outside the guest room where Hu Jingguo was staying. He walked in and was greeted by Hu Jingguo. "Your Highness, please have a seat," Hu Jingguo politely said, showing the ground table around which 3 seats were made. Xingli sat on the prime seat and told Hu Jingguo to take his seat as well. Hu Jingguo took his seat, which was facing the crown prince. "How is His Highness doing?" Hu Jingguo concernedly asked. "I have recovered fully. What about you?" "The injuries do not seem to be fully healed," Xingli proclaimed as he looked at the hands of Hu Jingguo. "It will take more time to heal." "Thank you for asking, Your Highness," Hu Jingguo expressed his gratitude. "There is something I want to know," Xingli stated. Hu Jingguo nodded and told the crown prince to speak without any hesitation. "What do you think that the Lantern Festival is for?" Xingli questioned. "Everyone knows it is celebrated to advocate Buddhism," Hu Jingguo replied, keeping the smile on his lips. "So, there is no other meaning of this festival?" Xingli tried getting the answer from Hu Jingguo, but he also did not want to tell him what the crown princess had told him. "There is one more meaning, Your Highness, but it is popular among the commoners." Xingli's eyes glistened upon hearing those words, and he told Hu Jingguo to continue. "On this day, people go out to find their soul mates," Hu Jingguo replied. "The Lantern Festival begins with the new year, so young men and women go out in the night market to look for love. It is believed that if you find love on this day, then it is the blessing of heaven to the couples," Hu Jingguo explained to the crown prince. Xingli nodded when he heard Hu Jingguo. "Lily, forgive me for this slip of the tongue. I mean the crown princess when I was in Juyan, every year used to celebrate this with the commoners. As a young woman, she also desired someone who could love and cherish her. Why are you telling me this?" "I didn't even ask for it," Xingli stated. Hu Jingguo smiled seeing the reaction on the face of the crown prince. "Your Highness, you would not have asked me about this if the crown princess had not told you about this. Since you were in wars most of the time, you might not know about this. Didn't I tell His Highness that if he wants full support of the crown princess then he must try to know her? His Highness considers the crown princess as a warrior rather than a woman, but it will not change the truth that the crown princess is a woman. I always prayed for a good husband for my friend. I did not mean that His Highness is not a good husband, but it also does not mean that he is trying to be. His Highness shall take the crown princess to the Lantern Festival since it is her first time celebrating it outside Juyan." Hu Jingguo explained everything to the crown prince. "Are you sure that such a thing happens?" Xingli asked. "It happens, that's why it is popular among the folks, Your Highness," Hu Jingguo replied. "The crown princess cares for His Highness. If she hadn't, then she would not have put her life on the stake when you were on your deathbed. Among the people, His Highness is tyrannical, but that's not the truth. The crown princess had the same views for you, but I do not think they exist anymore," Hu Jingguo proclaimed. Xingli stood up in the middle of the conversation. "Have a quick recovery. It was nice talking to you." Xingli walked out of the room. He was going to his manor thinking about his conversation with Hu Jingguo. "Shall I take her out? But her foot is injured. I cannot take any more risks," Xingli thought when the face of the crown princess came in front of his eyes. Why did I even ask her?" Xingli muttered and increased his pace. Xing Fu bowed his head seeing the crown prince and opened the doors of the chamber for the crown prince. They walked in when Xing Fu helped the crown prince in removing the upper coat off his body. The water was brought for the crown prince, who drank it and then laid down on his bed. Xing Fu put the glass on the table beside the bed and pulled the curtain down around the bed and came out of the chamber. "We have to be commoners to go out. But what will I do with her foot? I will not carry her around nor will I take her into a palanquin," Xingli muttered as he looked at the wooden ceiling. Xing Fu came in thus, interrupting the thoughts of Xingli. Your Highness, Her Majesty has gone to the Crown Princess Manor, Xing Fu informed Xingli, who right away sat up on the bed. I am going there, Xingli stated. He got down from the bed, wore his shoes, and walked out of the chamber. In the Zhenju Inn, Empress Wei could be seen sitting on the chaise while the Crown Princess was on the bed and her hand lowered her head. The Crown Princess must be careful. What about the maids? Did they not work properly? Empress Wei queried Ying Lili. It was my mistake, Your Majesty. It will be healed soon, so Her Majesty does not need to worry, Ying Lili softly said. Court Lady Su, apply this medicine over the foot of the Crown Princess. It will help in expeditious recovery. Wang Wei forwarded a porcelain bottle to her assistant who passed it to the Court Lady Su. Thank you for your concern, Your Majesty. Ying Lili bowed her head. The Crown Prince is here. Wang Wei and Ying Lili turned to look at the door. Xingli entered and greeted the Empress. The Crown Princess is injured, so I thought to check on her. How is the Crown Prince doing? Wang Wei queried. I prayed from Lord Buddha to wake my son up when you were in that state, Wang Wei continued. I am well now. Thanks to your prayers, I am alive and even woke up, Your Majesty, Xingli asserted. Ying Lili looked at the two and found the coldness between the two. I shall take my leave. Since the Crown Prince is here, then he must look after the Crown Princess. Palace rumors about your relationship are known to everyone now. I hope the Crown Prince will not create any situation where I need to intervene. Since the Crown Prince has already refused for having a concubine, then he must abide by that and shall not avoid the Crown Princess, Wang Wei pronounced. Xingli did not respond and waited for Wang Wei to go out. Once the Empress had gone out of the chamber, Xingli came to Ying Lili and asked her how she was feeling. Good. The pain has gone away, Ying Lili replied. Your Highness, Her Majesty has given this medicine to apply over the foot of the Crown Princess. Court Lady Su forwarded the medicine to the Crown Prince. Throw it away, Xingli ordered. Court Lady Su bowed and left from there.